Welcome to episode 73 on the A Travel Talk Show, a part of the ehCanadaTravel.com website and product of the A Travel Marketing Group. Today, me and my prestigious, better looking brother
Very glad to be here.
talk with Petrena Schell. Petrena Schell is a travel influencer, professional speaker, videographer, and YouTuber. But most importantly, she's a Canadian that is making a difference on the world stage. And in a few minutes, we're going to have the privilege of talking face to face live with Petrena Schell. And our topic today is a little bit about travel, a little bit about influencing, a little bit about content, a little bit about making a difference, which is, as you viewers know, and our friends in the industry know, that's a pretty big bookmark in our book, eh, Call?
Absolutely.
Yeah. A travel influencer is a creator of authentic content. It can be in the form of a website, a YouTube page, blog, podcast, any type of social media channel, ebooks, even, and infographics. So, content influencing is a big part of today's marketing for not only people like us and Petrena, but also for corporations. And they're just starting to catch on to how this all works out. But let me tell you a little bit about influencer for you new people out there where this is new and brew and a new concept to you. 72% of online marketers describe content creation as their most effective search engine optimization tool.
It's
That's
huge.
where you can plant your page on the first page of Google. You can plant your content on the first page of Google. It's a tough ride to get there, but there are many of us, not many of us, there are some of us in the industry that know how to do that. Over 80% of travel planning is done through the internet. And this is extremely important because that is where the battleground is for travel information. You want your community to be visited, you want your attraction to be visited, you want to come up for a whole bunch of different keyword searches. You need to have a concept and you need to be able to put yourself on that first page. YouTube, which is the house of Petrena. That's where she hangs. That's where she hangs her hat, is in YouTube. And YouTube, for many of you, think it's as a social media channel, but in fact, it is the second largest search engine in the world behind you know who, Google. So YouTube has a lot of push. So we are so stoked to have Petrena come on to us and give us a little sharesy of what life is like on the YouTube channel. But before, you got to know this. This is how important people like Petrena are to the industry. There are 37.2 million influencers in the world. Okay,
Wow.
that's 37 million people you, me, Petrena, and all of us content creators are competing with. So you better be unique. You better have a plan. You better be dedicated. I'm sure Petrena will touch on how you have to be dedicated.
Mhm.
And man, oh man, you better be interesting. I know we got that down pat. And from meeting Petrena, I know she has that down pat. So I think we're batting 3 for 3 there, eh, Junior?
Yeah, what we talked to her earlier was pretty. She sounds pretty interesting and pretty amazing. I mean,
Yeah,
it was a good talk.
you know it.
And I
You know, yeah.
looked a bit of her stuff, and it's she's got impressive. Her YouTube channel is impressive, and her
It's,
website is big. So
it's almost Tarzan like, right?
Tarzan, like you betcha. But you
So
can't social marketing. I mean, you can't underemphasize how important that
nope,
is to every business.
nope.
And it's not that tough if you know how to do it.
You know it. Petrena here, you know what? She's no slacker. She's put out
Mhm.
160 videos.
I
She
know.
has over
Wow.
43,000 subscribers. Hey, she was even sharing with us today. She hit the big 1 million mark on one of her videos, which
Yes.
covers cultural tourism, and she might touch on that. But her YouTube channel, it's called Lifestyle, Travel, and Radiant Health. Isn't that cool?
Yeah. Great
Right?
name.
Mm-hmm. Okay, now that we've bragged about Petrena, I'll tell you a little bit about who we are in case you're a newbie to this show, and we hope there's a lot of newbies and spread the word about Petrena and ourselves. I am the co-bro founder of ehCanadaTravel.com. Yup, me and Junior are the boots on the ground, mosquito
Uh,
squashing, black fly swatting, snowbank
oh,
loving
yes.
tourism ambassadors known as the Brothers of Tourism. We are home base to real tourism, real people all the time.
Good
And
description, bro.
you, Junior, and who the heck are you?
I am the other Cobro owner, founder of this fabulous adventure organization,
Yep.
and the head developer, and so therefore keeper of the code.
I love that name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love the adventures, love outdoors, loving
Mhm.
life.
So today, our Canadian guest is Petrena Schell. As you heard, she does a YouTube thing. She's going to tell us about that. She's also a travel influencer. She also does professional speaking. She's a travelholic, just like us. And she's a videographer and a friend of the show. Now she's a friend of the show. That's part of the, that's part of the thing. Once you come on the show, you're
You got to
instant
be a
friends.
friend.
You're
Yeah,
yeah, you're
yeah,
instant, right?
yeah, yeah.
She gets to wear the ehCanada friend badge now.
Oh, well, that's pretty honorable. I mean,
I
not
know.
many people get
Yep.
that privilege.
Yep.
I'm
Okay,
sure
now
she'll
listen to
never take
this.
it off.
Well, we're hoping. We're
Yeah.
hoping. Well, we have to wear the Petrena Schell badge too, though, right? That's part of the deal. So here's how she describes her website: pursuit of life, barefoot and high heel, travel, lifestyle, and radiant health for the millennial woman.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I know.
Very nice.
Got you thinking, right?
Hmm. I
Mhm.
like the high heels part. That caught me there. You know, I think outdoors, you're
Yep.
putting the high heels in there, and that's perfect.
Well, the way they're working on hiking boots lately, you never know. They might come out with that sort of thing. I mean, that'd be pretty
Right.
good if you're in
Uh,
something that's slog, mud, and slushy. Your heels dig right in. You're not going anywhere.
really.
Yeah. Maybe we just
Well,
invented the next hiking boot.
there you go. Nice stable high heels.
Another
I
made
can see the real value there.
another made in Canada product.
Yeah, you can go with that one.
Uh-huh. So Petrena shares that her passion is blah, blah, is solo travel, adventure, health, and living. I like this part. High vibe life.
High vibe life.
Yeah, yeah.
Nice.
Isn't that cool? I
Yeah.
like that. That's sort of that. I think that's sort of, that's in the ehCanada wheelhouse. I can go with that one,
Yeah,
right?
we might have to use that.
Uh-huh. No, we can't use it.
That's part of the deal too.
No, no, no. She's the only
I'm just kidding.
she's the only high vibe life person in our life, and
You betcha.
we might even have to call her, hey, high vibe person, something
Yeah.
like that. I don't know. She's got it. She's cornered the market on high vibing, dude.
All right. All right. On.
Right.
Good
Okay.
job.
So she's passionate about solo travel, adventure, health, and living a high vibe life. She is here to share, inspire, motivate us to live a happier, healthier, more adventurous life of your dreams. She wants to do amazing stuff, Colin.
And she's following it. She doesn't just want to do, she's
Yep.
making it happen.
Yep. Sounds a little bit, I mean, she could easily be like a twin sister with us, the way, I think she's thinking the same way we think.
I think she might have the same sort of attitude. Yes,
Yes.
definitely. It works for her.
Yep. So, you newbies, get that pen and paper. Remember what those were. That's history talking. Pen and paper, the old school way to make a note. Get those out because we're going to be sharing Petrena's contact information. And if you don't have, this is what we used to call a pen. And then that thing that's flat you could write on, that's called paper. Yeah, I know.
Not a
Yeah,
coaster.
a little bit of a history lesson.
No, that's not a
Now,
coaster, you mean?
you could. You could. So take those two tools and start writing down Petrena's Facebook, YouTube, website, contact, emails, because we'll be sharing it through the whole show. Giving you a heads up, go get that material and go to wherever you got to go buy it because you might not use them anymore. For you extroverts, go ahead. You can come in and you can join us. You can make a comment if you want to ask Petrena a question. Otherwise, for most of you who are the shy types, sit back, relax, and enjoy Petrena's story. So let's put our hands together there, Junior, and welcome Petrena Schell back to the show. Welcome to the show. Welcome her into our highly productive, big corporate produced funding virtual studio where we don't spare any expense.
No, not at all.
None whatsoever. Right. So let's bring her on the show call, and we need to have a little chit chat with her, and let's hear her stories. So here she comes. Da 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 da. Petrena Schell. You.
Hello. Hello.
Hi.
I had to unmute myself.
Welcome to the show, Petrena. We're very happy to have you.
Thank you. I'm trying to get myself centered. There we go.
There you go. You're
Thank
centered.
you. I'm very happy to be here.
Excellent. Petrena, we did our thing. We sort of went into your background and did a little bit of poking around your website and email. So we got a pretty good stake on who the Petrena Schell is. But we have some newbies here, and I'm sure they'd like to know a little bit about yourself. So if you wouldn't mind filling them in about who is Petrena Schell.
Okay, well, who am I? Okay, well, we know what I do. I have my YouTube channel, Petrena Schell, and I have my website, apursuitoflife.com. So that's what I do. But I guess if you want to know who I am, that's a little different. I am a proud Métis Canadian. I have Cree descent, and I'm from a very small town in Northwest Territories. From a humble upbringing, but always my dreams were bigger than my little town. So life has taken me around the world. I've gone on from leading volunteer projects deep in the jungles of Central and South America to crossing Africa with a portable massage table. I've sailed across the Atlantic Ocean a couple of times, and
Wow.
recently just got back from a year and a half abroad unexpected. Was supposed to be gone 3 months, but we all know the world has changed a little bit, so I was gone a little longer. And I'm an adventurer, a content creator, and a lover of life.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes. Look with all these great lines you're pushing out there. I mean, there's so many there. We need to put quotes around it, right? So, Petrena,
I'll get my own little book.
Yeah, please
My
do.
little quote book.
Please do. So you're proudly a solo traveler. Many may be a little bit surprised to hear that. That 84% out there that are solo travelers are actually female, which I found very interesting. That's actually the stat.
Wow.
And that's coming from Travel Zoo and Booking.com. But you have visited, and get this, people, Africa, Spain, the island of Zanzibar. Is that how you say it? Zanzibar?
Okay, Zanzibar is in Africa.
Is it in Africa? Okay. And then there's Tanzania.
Tanzania.
Yeah. Mount Kilimanjaro. You've done that. I mean, come on. I mean, what's going on? So my question is this: what has solo travel taught you about the world and yourself? Because knowing from us, from our travel, when we've gone overseas a few times, or even in Canada, just the travel itself, it sort of gets you a little bit more culture, a little bit more mature, I think. What do you find with your travel? What has that done for yourself?
Well, I think what solo travel really taught me about the world is just how connected we actually are. Because when you travel with people in a group, you tend to be like, nobody helps you as much, right? Because you're with a group of people, so people tend to leave you alone. When you're by yourself, it's like a whole new world, especially if you're in a third world country. People are continually trying to help you. They're always wondering, what are you doing here by yourself? You must be crazy because it's dangerous for us. So it's definitely dangerous for you.
Yeah.
So, you meet people so much easier and on a much greater scale. And then I really get to know locals. And yeah, it really taught me just really how connected we are. And we really are all one at the end of the day. Break down the culture and the language barrier, and we're all the same. So yeah, learning that connection with people, even when I don't speak the same language, is just such a gift. And about myself, well, it taught me how much grit that I have because sometimes traveling alone is hard. And sometimes you wonder, why am I even doing this? This is crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, you really learn, your street smarts. You learn, that you have a lot more in you than you think. And you're a very good problem solver. When push comes to shove and you have no other option, you solve problems.
That's a good point. I mean, I can't recall any trip where we've done a trip problem solved free. I mean, something happens, right?
So true.
Right. So what advice would you give for any young person that is watching the show or will be watching our show? What advice would you give to a young person who looks up to you and inspires to live this global life of solo travel? What advice would you give them to at least get the ball rolling?
Well, what really worked for me in the beginning before I started traveling solo around the globe is I went on a group trip, actually. I went and did a volunteer project in Costa Rica. And that kind of was my way of easing my way into going to a new country and getting out there, even though I didn't really need training wheels. I learned very quickly that this was what I was meant to be doing. So right after that trip, I was gone. But, do something that just kind of gets your foot in the door and gets you a little bit of experience. And do it.
Yeah. Okay. That makes total sense. I mean, isn't that how we started, Colin? I mean, you took me up to, what's that place where in the mountains where we went up that big ice wall?
Fried's Hut.
Fried's Hut. That's where I got hooked.
Yeah, that was a
Mhm.
big rapid exposure, but
Yeah.
you got
Yeah.
hooked. And that
So,
was still the best hike of all time, I think.
Oh,
oh,
that's awesome.
so Petrina, in your stories, you describe how solo travel and a group trip changed your life. There was one particular trip. Is this the one you just mentioned, or is there a little bit more to that one?
Yeah, no, that one, my volunteer project was many moons ago, but this one was a few years ago. Actually, that's when I went to go summit Mount Kilimanjaro,
Mhm.
and I ended up going with an organization called Yugo Impact. Half of the trip was doing a volunteer project with the Women's Foundation, and then the other half of the trip was summiting Mount Kilimanjaro while doing personal development through the whole thing. And I'm really into personal development, so
Mhm.
I love all three of those things. So that
Mm.
spoke to me right away. And it
By
had
by
been,
one
mhm,
by summit, you mean went to the top?
yeah. Made
Wow.
it up to the freezing cold. I thought minus 30 was cold in Northwest
Serious.
Territories, but minus 30 at the top of Mount Kilimanjaro is a whole nother level of minus 30.
Wow. Wow. I pay homage to you.
Yeah, that was definitely a challenge. But
Wow.
that group trip itself, the reason it changed my life is because it had been quite a few years since I'd been to Africa. And it had also been quite a few years since I'd done a group trip like that. And because I'm such a solo traveler, I never really thought of seeing myself participating in a group trip again. But at that point in time, I never realized how much I missed doing volunteer work, pushing my boundaries, like doing something like Kilimanjaro, and then getting to combine it with the personal development aspect. It was just checking all the boxes for me, and it really helped me find within myself what I'm very passionate about again, even though I always traveled, but
Yeah, yeah,
the extensive
totally
stuff.
makes. So I here's something for our viewers, a little bit of a tidbit behind the scenes gossip is we have an we actually came in connection with you and your story from a mutual friend of ours who we've had, a friend of the show, Jed Brown of Low Season Traveler, which is we both talk very highly of the gentleman, very, very good soul. In that episode, he was featuring travel influencers. There's, I think, 6 of you that he was highlighting, or 6 or 8, including yourself. So during that interview, your traveling companion at one time was a massage table. And I have to bring this story up because I can't believe what you did with this table and where you took it. So maybe what you can do is, can you share with us a bit about that story and how you were becoming a celebrity? And some even thought you were a doctor. So
Mm.
why don't you maybe share a little bit about that story? You're gonna love this one, Call.
I guess sounds it.
Yeah, absolutely. So, after I had been leading volunteer projects in Central and South America, I had decided I was going to fulfill my childhood dream of going to Africa. So, I went back to Canada here to work and make some money for 6 months while I planned my trip to Africa. When I had went to book the plane ticket, I couldn't really decide where I wanted to go. I just knew, like, I had been dreaming of Africa since I was 5 years old. I knew I needed to go.
Nice.
When I was looking at the map, I thought, well, I guess I'll just fly into Cape Town, return from Cairo. You know, you might as well see all of Eastern Africa while I'm there. I
Yeah.
didn't plan anything in between. I just knew I had to get from South Africa to Egypt. And I thought it would take me about 3 months to do that because I had read stories of other people crossing the continent in 3 months. 3 months into the trip, I'm still in South Africa. I haven't even left the first country that I got to, and I still have this whole continent to cross. And so, I spent my
Hilarious.
3 months worth of savings, and I needed to come up with a solution because, well, my plane ticket home is still from Cairo, so I still have to get there somehow.
Yeah.
So, with the massage background, I decided to buy a portable massage table and carry that with me across the continent to barter, to, yeah, set up at overland
Wow.
camps where the overland tour trucks would come through with all the tourists that had been on there for weeks, and put up my little sign and then,
No way.
make my way to keep going. And yeah, it was actually quite, well, tough because that thing was tied on rooftops of buses. Like sometimes I had to carry it like my 70-liter backpack. Plus I had that was supposed to be off. That was
Yep.
very much supposed to be off. But
Live shows rock.
yeah, exactly, like busted.
Yeah.
so then,
Oh,
so then sometimes I'd be carrying that 70-liter backpack and I'd have to strategically place the strap of the massage table on the backpack strap because otherwise it would dig in because it still weighed about 25 pounds. So it wasn't light. And after I'd gone through some countries, I started getting emails from people oh my gosh, Petrena, we're in Mozambique. Everyone's talking about you. The girl traveling Africa with her massage table. And then I'd get an email from someone else. Petrena, I'm in Malawi. You're famous. Everyone's talking about you. The girl traveling Africa with her massage table. I would walk into a new country to go book a room somewhere. And I remember walking up to the front desk at this one place and they were like, oh my gosh, you're Petrena? You're the girl traveling with your massage table. We heard about you. And I'm like, how is this? Like, I literally ran out of money. Sometimes I
That
had
is
$1
so
a day.
cool.
I could only afford a big beer, not even a meal. And it was like the carbonation would fill me up. And there was times, I would get off of like being on a bus that's falling apart, almost crashed a few times, get off after 30 hours. And they were one day pulling my table off the roof. And I turned around and right behind me, there was a whole village crowded around me. And they were all like, hello, doctor. They don't speak English. The only thing they knew how to say was hello, doctor. And I was like, I'm not a doctor. Like this is definitely not a doctor's table. So, but by the time I got to Uganda, I had carried that table so far. I was tired. And at one of the guest houses I stayed at, the gentleman who was managing it, his family was studying massage, couldn't afford a table. So we made a deal that they gave me some free nights, free accommodation, and they could have my table by that point. I was like, you can take it. I will finish without
Please.
Yeah. But boy, oh boy, that thing got you through.
It did. It definitely did. And
That's
I've never met
adversity.
another person who did that.
Wow.
And that's exactly the point you were hitting is that, you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
Right.
Create a solution.
Yeah, create a solution. I mean, and I'm sure it turned into what could have been a negative experience turned into a very positive one.
Absolutely.
I can only
Challenging, but
imagine.
extremely positive.
I can only imagine what something like that would be like trying to put myself in that situation and what would go through your mind. And it's hilarious.
Yeah.
As long as you don't panic, you're good. Yeah, it's amazing.
I wish I had a YouTube channel then. If I had a YouTube channel then, and you know what my mom used to tell me? Start a YouTube channel. I'm like, no. And now
and now it's your passion.
Yeah.
I mean,
Mom knows best.
Oh, yeah. How dare we argue with mom? That's not a good thing.
Exactly.
The matriarch.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So solo travel is the #1 trend for 2019, according to Clock, which is I thought was really cool. It's a big market is opening up for that solo travel. Being that you're a big part of, there's like what was it, 131% increase in the number of Google searches online for solo travel between 2016 and 2019. Wow. It's a huge jump. It's almost 55% of travel decisions now are influenced by social media, from people like you sharing your stories, people like us sharing, adventure seekers sharing. This is 55% is now making part of that travel decision. So we are truly influencers. We have the control where if we properly educate with ethical content, authentic content, we can actually help people make good decisions. That's how we look at it, is you want to help people make good decisions. So it's important to create this quality content and to be found on the mediums out there like search engines and social media. So what do you find, Petrena, for your YouTube channel? Which by all means, look it up, people, while the contact's been flying back and forth. What works for you when it comes to creating content? What, and I don't want you to give your secrets away, but in a general form, in a general form, what sort of thing do you find works for you?
What really works for anyone is create content that's true for you. Like what is natural for you to do? That's the story you should be telling. That's what you should be sharing, something that through and through, because that's what people want to see out of you, because it's very authentic, and then people can learn from that. So sometimes it's hard finding that, what is that thing for me? But once you find that, or if you already know that thing, then go for that thing, because that's what's ultimately people are going to come to see that from you.
Yeah. So basically, like, if I'm getting it right and make it nice and complex for our viewers, is do what you are passionate about.
Well, and passionate about, but also something you're knowledgeable about, right?
Good point.
So because you have to have the knowledge in order to share, in order to teach all of this. So something that's more part of your lifestyle, that's what you should be sharing. And then obviously SEO, descriptions, that's obviously very important. But yeah, at the end of the day, it's about you and what it is that you're sharing. So share something that you know.
So what advice would you give someone who is considering, let's get a little bit more specific, because YouTube is a tough market to be in. it's probably the toughest of all the social media to make a dent and to establish a brand. So what advice would you give to anyone who's looking at starting a YouTube channel?
I would say, well, start for one, because I started my channel on an iPhone.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
if I can start, and when I see those old videos, I'm like, oh my gosh, what was I doing? But it got me started, right?
Mhm.
And they got things moving, and that's what you need to do, because at the end of the day, yes, you want quality, right? But people are there for you. So just start and just get your energy out there, and get yourself out there. But again, don't give up, because YouTube, anyone can be successful with YouTube. Any single person on this planet can be successful with YouTube, and you just need to be persistent. And people like to come there to learn. So when you're starting something fresh, what can you teach people? Because that's what's going to get the views for you to begin with. So, if you want to do travel, well, how to pack your bag for this trip, or um, teach them something about traveling, how to be a solo female traveler, 10
Mhm.
tips. Like, you can start with those types of things, because that's going to get people coming for that knowledge.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. You got anything to add to that there, Junior?
She's a wise lady, I gotta say.
Oh
Send me
yeah.
names.
You're you just want your Petrena Schell badge. I know how you think.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm working on that. You got a t-shirt?
Yeah,
Just kidding.
actually, I'll send you guys some later.
Yeah. Before we let you go, Petrina, we're going to give you the stage. Is there anything else you would like to share with our audience that you want to share with us? What anything you want to close out with?
Let me tell you, I'll tell you right now, the world is not a scary place. I just spent a year and a half doing amazing things unexpectedly. And the world is so beautiful. There's so many amazing adventures to be have. So, the less we fear in our minds, the less life seems scary, because it's definitely not. Life is so awesome. And yeah, here in our own backyard, there is so much to see. And I'm really excited about getting in my own backyard again.
And we're excited. We're excited.
Whenever that happens to be.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Exactly. Okay, well, we got to say thank you very much for Petrina for
Yes.
joining us today. It's been
Thank
very
you for having me.
insightful. Make sure you follow her on all her pages, especially her YouTube page, and it's very easy. All you got to do really is go to YouTube, use the search bar, and search out her name: Petrena Schell. Search that, you'll get it. And she's also on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Did I miss anything there?
Nope.
Nope.
Well,
And
I'm
website
playing with
address is
TikTok,
pretty
but I'm
easy as
not
well.
there yet.
yeah. Yeah, that's true. Well, the website we've been putting up the most, because if you do go to that website, www.apursuitoflife.com, you will be very easy to connect to all her social media from that website address.
True.
So by all means, people, hunt it down, check it out, check out our stories. We have, and we highly recommend it. And again, thank you very much, Petrina. We're going to put you back in the green room. By all means, stick around if you'd like to chat later.
Sounds good. Thank you.
So there you go there, Call. That
Wow,
wasn't that cool?
that was cool.
That was super cool. And look at everything we've learned about how and we've said that, and Petrina basically said the thing: travel is so much growth internally, physically, mentally. It just provides you culturally, artistically.
Mhm.
It makes you a fuller person, right?
Exactly. You don't talk to anybody going to, foreign countries and experiencing a different lifestyle. It'll change you.
Yeah.
And everything's such a huge learning experience.
Exactly. So for you newbies and oldies out there, tomorrow you'll find this interview on our award-winning ehCanadaTravel.com website. You'll make sure you check it out there. It's also on our live travel talk community, which is live travel every minute, every second. There's something new on there happening in Canada. Check that live community out. And you'll also find it on our 6 social media channels as of tomorrow. So make sure you check it out. And if you do go to YouTube, there's a share link on there. Please share Petrina's information, and let's help
Absolutely.
Petrina get her message out there, because I think it's a very important one. So please share. It speaks volumes, and it's also the best way of showing respect for anybody who is on content marketing and social media. It's the best thing you can do for us is share it to your followers, and
Mhm.
hopefully we can make a connection and share all the followers as a big group. Please note, if you are a tourism business operating in Canada right now, because we are COVID friendly, non-commission, and we're here for the frontline small businesses and attractions and tourism, is you're able to sign up for free on our award-winning website,
What a
and
deal.
we can make sure that you get some plugs, and we'll send all our travelers to your website when they're coming to your region. For
Nice.
you travelers who book direct with the business website, that's cool. You can do that on ehCanada. It's the best way to book is go directly to the travel destination accommodation attractions website, because what happens when you go to the big corporates, Booking, Travelocity, all these big guys, is there's a back end 13-18% commission that the accommodation and attractions have to pay. So every time you book with them, you're taking 13% out of their coffers, which used to go into the cities, used to buy baseball uniforms, used to put a new roof on the ice rink, used to be able to pave the pedestrian sidewalks, used to add an extra room. That is a big difference. You want to make a change in Canadian tourism is you book directly and you use sites like ours, which direct you to their websites so you can save them 13 to 18%. It is huge. If we did this as a country, we would be saving billions. I'm
Oh,
saying billions of
yeah.
dollars would be put back into our Canadian economy and save communities, save businesses. Yeah,
Yeah.
Junior, hit it.
Once that money's gone, it's gone for good. It doesn't come back. And as we all know, a dollar spent in your own community or your own country stays in that country and goes through 3, 4, 5, I don't know
Yep.
how many times. Once it's gone, it's gone. So
Yep.
shop local in every instance you can,
Yep.
and cut out that
corporate.
big middleman that
Yep.
doesn't produce anything, just sucks the money out.
You got to understand, all this money goes to their head office. So it's either in San Francisco, Switzerland, or Germany, and it never comes back into Canada. I have not seen one commercial in my lifetime from one of these corporate greed corporations advertise coming to Canada. I have never seen a
Yeah,
commercial from Booking, never seen one from Travelocity, none. So
yeah,
they take the money, but they don't put back in. Here's the difference between privately operated Canadian tourism platforms like ourselves. Everything we do is we're trying to do to better the industry and help out the frontline tourism businesses. That is why we are getting recognized, and that's why we are able to bring on quality people as Petrena Schell. Please get a
yes.
hold of her. Tourism in Canada is a lot more than what you are thinking or what you are hearing from regional and provincial associations. It is so much more. There's a lot we
Absolutely.
can do as a traveler to promote and sell and to keep our communities alive. So we beg you, please use sites like ehCanada that direct you to the personal websites, or go directly to the attraction website and book there. And here's the key. So many times when you go directly to their websites, it's cheaper. It is not cheaper on booking.com. Okay, let's get this
Yeah.
straight. So make sure you try and do that. So again, Colin, past what's happening next week before we take off?
Like I also say again, what a great show today. Thank you, Petrena. Next week we have David Robinson of Snowshoe, Canada.
Woo!
He's going to be here to tell us everything about their tips and tricks and information about snowshoeing in Canada. So stay tuned. It's going to be a great show. Winter's coming, and if you've never been snowshoeing, it is a hoot.
And it's basically winter hiking, except
Yeah,
there's no crowds, and
and it's
everything is
gorgeous.
glistening beautiful and white and gorgeous, and you get to go into areas you've never thought you could go in. Hey,
Mhm.
instead of hiking in the summer where you got to hike 6 kilometers around a lake, here's the benefit of snowshoe hiking. You can go right across the lake. You're cutting out that 6K,
Yeah.
and you got this beautiful, beautiful scenery. So again, by all means, we'll see you next week. We're going to talk to David at Snowshoe Canada. And again, we're looking forward to it. Be kind, people. Canada out.